Injuries. Do you use them in your games and campaigns? And should you? I'm going to talk about this and more today. Welcome, I'm Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D, and hey, this is DnDaily number 115. I injured myself at work today. I tried to gouge my thumbnail out. Ew. Well, you know, accidents happen, and it raised this really fun and interesting question in my mind. Before I get into that, I do want to share with you this. I had so much fun last night on the Variant Roles game stream. I hope you checked it out. If not, that's cool. You can check out the VOD on Variant Roles Twitch channel, and it will be on their YouTube channel in another day or so. We had a great game. We're doing level 14 in the Dungeons of the Mad Mage, and I reprieved my character Hadar, the blue dragonborn Eldritch Knight. I'm loving this character. He's fun to play, and honestly, I barely did anything in the game last night. I was just like having a good time playing. That's it. It was so funny. Like, everyone else was just like tearing it up with damage and like way more effective than anything I did. I cast a cantrip that was resisted, and I cast a magic missile that it finished off a creature, actually a fire giant, which was kind of cool. But still, it was, compared to what the others were doing, like 30 and 60 damage in a round or something ridiculous. I mean, they were like just tearing it up, and I felt like I'm over here like pew pew. It was silly and fun, and I just had a good time playing. I rolled like 2 nat 1s during the game, and I just loved every minute of it. It was super fun. I got to play finally with DM Corey, who you can check out at DM Corey. Just an all-around great guy. Father, DM, husband, and just a good dude. And he makes great content. Like, his games are always lighthearted and exciting, and everybody's having a good time, and he's phenomenal with new players, which is super cool. I am, of course, not a new player, but we did have one in the group who basically was very new to D&D, and she was awesome. So apologies for not having all the names and everything. I just had fun. This is a 3-part game, so you'll hear me talking more about this. I will share more about the game and what I think went right, what went wrong. I'll tell you one thing before I talk about injuries in D&D. I've kind of gone, I think, to the far end and back with notes. So like, I used to not take any notes, like none at all. I just played the game, and that's that. And we had games that went over ages. I always just sort of relied on Brett to let my GM DM for ages. I always relied on Brett to remind us if there was something important we needed to know. Now, with games, like I'm playing multiple games, or I'm playing games that maybe we don't meet every week or whatever it is, I started realizing like having notes, and I saw other people, especially like on the Critical Role stream and whatever, I saw people taking notes, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is a good idea, I should do this, this will help me, and then I can remember those facts and names and places that I want to know without having to bug the DM or make a roll or something, you know, time consuming and doesn't really move the game forward, you know? So yeah, so I started taking notes, and last night, I feel that I've gone to the other end of the spectrum, where I was taking so many, trying to take notes so much, that I feel like I was like losing the game. Like, I wasn't able to focus and listen in intently enough to what was happening. So I need to dial it back a touch. I need to dial back and like come back to where I'm taking notes, but I'm not going like crazy overboard with like every little detail. Maybe I need a better shorthand or something. I don't know. But anyway, so that was kind of my observation from the game last night, was this personal observation of like, oh, I need to stay more connected during the game. that being said, everybody hit it off. The role playing was great. The characters are fascinating and fun and really effective, which is cool. You're level 13, like you can do some damage. Like, so the dungeon level is 14. Our characters are level 13. So check it out next Monday. I'll announce it again before then. Monday nights for the next 2 weeks will be part 2 and part 3, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We started a little late last night. DM Corey was coming from one stream to another. He's an animal, like 2 streams back to back. How cool is that? And everybody just had a great time. So enough about that. Let me talk real quickly about injuries. And this is what I'm thinking. I've tried using like critical hit tables because I think they're kind of interesting. I've considered using things like that, like maybe what would happen if your character like literally lost an arm or a finger or something in the game. I know that's extreme, and gosh, I try to be sensitive. You know, like some people have actually lost limbs, and my heart goes out to those people. What a challenge. And this is make-believe, and it's supposed to be fun. Is that fun? Would that be fun? I mean, I feel like there's an interesting way that we can incorporate things into the game. Let's say you have a character and they have a scar. In fact, I'm gonna pick a character from a game that I played in a couple years back. This would be from the name slipped my mind. This would be when I was playing with the Bearded Bugbear as our DM, and the name will come to me, but Mindalin, who is one of my good friends on Twitter, played a character named Perdida, who had been burned. Like, half of her face was burned. This was her character backstory. She didn't know why it happened, how it happened, and she was in the process of discovering, like, how did she get scarred, who were her parents, she was an orphan, and all this kind of stuff. It was really fun and exciting. We got to play that all out during the game, and it made for a really interesting, lots of role-playing. So, like, does your character have a scar? How did they get it? It's a great question to ask before you play the game. Especially, I like playing, for some reason I like playing soldier background. I think it's just an easy one to sort of tap into, especially for these, like, quick one-shots. It just gives you a real simple, easy backstory. I did it for Jermaine in that game, that campaign that I was just mentioning, so I'm just wondering. I just what do you think? And is there a way you do it during the game? Like, if you take a massive hit, let's say you get critically hit by a dragon, and it's like you take 50, 60 points of damage from their, claw strike or something outrageous. Would you use that as a reason? Especially if your DM says you get raked across the face by the dragon. Would you use that to then create story of now, even though I've been healed, and the wound is healed, there's still this scar. I mean, with magical healing, do you have scars? Because it kind of suggests that, no, there's no scars. But doesn't it make for a more interesting story if there is? So, I'm going to ask you all this. I'm going to ask you this question. What do you do about this? Do you have scars on your characters? Have any of your characters had a scar? How would you use it in your game? And is it something that even matters? Or it's who cares? I think it's kind of cool. I think it's a fun thing to do and to think about. And I'd love to get your feedback, especially if you have a character that you're playing right now or a favorite character that had a scar. Let me know about it in the comments on this video, please. And I would love to hear that story. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope to see you at a table someday. Remember to keep rolling 20s until then, and it's your game. Play your way. Injuries. No. Injuries. Do you My name's Gregory, and welcome to DnD, DnDaily. Oh, goodness gracious.